Hey everyone, welcome back to another On the Sensors production here. I've got the partial crew with me, so we've got Duncan, Pauly, 86. Drac couldn't make it today, but we are super excited to be with you here today. We've got some high stakes spoilers, so I know everyone is super excited for that. We're going to keep it super short and sweet today to get you right into those. A couple of quick announcements, so I wanted to quickly mention a few key points here before we get into them. Just wanted to remind everyone what we're all about here on the Sensors. We roll dice, play with physical cards over webcam. So if you've got a collection, maybe you don't like to play over TTS, or now and again you want to mix it up. That's what we're all about. We hit the tables, and we got a pretty regularly active crew. So come join us. We'll have the invite to our server in the description. We'd love to see people come out and join us. So. And on that note, we do have an upcoming tournament series, and this is an official ARH tournament, and we're calling it the Future of the Force. So it's going to be a 3-part tournament. We'll put the flyer up on the screen there, but the first one's going to be June 26th, and then it'll be the I believe it's the last weekend of the month for June, July, and August, and those are actually going to get you, if you play in all of them, there's some pretty neat prizes, which Pauly's gonna flash up here in just a second. And then actually the final one will win you a ticket to Worlds next year in 2022, which ARH has mentioned. It's going to be the first in-person event officially sanctioned by them. I believe that's in Vegas. So pretty exciting stuff. We're super excited about that. But that's enough talking from me. Pauly, why don't we? Go ahead.
Ticket anywhere from the world to Las Vegas to play at World. So
You're covering
all
that.
you Australians apply to play on OTS, the summer series, and then ARH personally will fly you to Las Vegas.
Well, I don't know about all that, but Duncan will pick up the tab maybe.
Okay.
No, it's going to be good though. But so the other reason you would want to play, whether you think you can go to Vegas or not, is we got some pretty cool prizes for you. So we're super excited. Pauly's showing it up. Oh. We got our first On the Sensors exclusive alt art promo there. So what better way to do our first promo than with a droid, right? So shout out to Twin Suns Gaming, who helped us, put these together and get them out and printed and whatnot. So definitely sign up. We'll get some of those out to people who participate. We also have some of the OP kit for prize support as well. So I know those have been floating around now for a good bit. So yeah, there we go. It's gonna be exciting. All right, that's enough talking for me, guys. Let's do it. Let's dive in. So we're gonna talk about. We've got 3 spoilers today. We've got an event. We've got an upgrade. We've got a character. So we're gonna put them up on the screen. Maybe a little mystery first, and then we'll go ahead and flip it over to Duncan to talk about the first one.
Okay, well, it looks like we're going to be getting some red villain cards spoiled here today, possibly centered around a major red villain character. I wonder who that could be. Anyway, the first one is a zero-cost red villain event, which is called Danger Close, and I'll read it out for you. Deal 1 indirect damage to yourself to play a vehicle or artillery from your discard pile, decreasing its cost by 1. So it's on the surface, it kind of looks like a tech team that you can play for free, and instead of paying a resource, you'll deal an indirect damage to yourself, which is going to be useful. Ping a shield off and get a decrease of a cost for 1 for a vehicle artillery. So we got obviously some pretty big red villain supports out there. Sadly, not Blizzard 1, because you can't decrease the cost on that. But the important thing is it's from your discard pile, which opens up a whole new level of possibilities. Obviously, it's very anti-mill, which is something that might become an issue in the forthcoming set. It's playing a little bit upon the renew mechanic that was spoiled, the new mechanic of playing things from your discard pile. So that's the event. I mean, I have a couple of interactions that I could probably immediately spring to mind that I'll take you guys through. We're really looking to... There are some hopefully in the future there are more, but there are some supports that can go, you can play at a discount and then eventually it will go in your discard pile should something happen. So one of the major sort of things that we're looking for with a card that can play things from your discard pile is to take advantage of that and try and break that and get more value out of something that you otherwise wouldn't have. So I'm immediately thinking of TIE Striker, which is a great card that you can play for free with a discard, and it will eventually go back into your discard pile at the end of your turn once you've used it. So you would play a card to get that initially on the table. You would lose that into your discard pile, and then next turn you could take an indirect damage and play it from your discard pile for a cost of 2. So you're really looking to play it once for free, and then the second time at a cost of 2. So a 3-cost event, a 3-cost support that comes back from discard pile at a discount is obviously going to look pretty powerful. So it's an interesting event, Danger Close. Yeah, over to you guys.
It feels like it's a card designed to combat DM, almost. Like DM is such a prevalent card, and it's considered, in my mind, it's considered one of the best yellow villain, or yellow cards out there, right? You get rid of somebody's huge support they spend a bunch of resources on. So if that happens, then you could use this to put it back into play. You still got to pay for it again, but at a reduced cost. But that indirect damage your opponent took plus the card out of their hand, you just get to put something back in play. So I think that's pretty interesting too about it.
Yeah, and I love that they added the you can hit artilleries with it. So we talked about this, right, Duncan, the super laser siege cannon and the Duchess. So I mean, man, can you imagine getting one of those out turn 1? Yeah, I love it.
And there's only 2 artillery currently in the lineup that's standard legal. So if they're putting a keyword like artillery on a card, then we're probably going to see some other artillery in this set.
One could could predict.
Yeah.
That means you're not afraid to discard it to reroll as well. You can just. You're probably going to discard it to reroll so that you can play it eventually for a discount. So, it's a useful card, a tech card for your deck to make things run a bit cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we lost 86, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll take over for the card that he was going to spoil. So we'll move on. So we talked about the event. Now we're going to talk about the upgrade. And here we go. It's called Cruel Tactician. It is an upgrade title. So it's got a 2 indirect, a 1 focus, a 2 focus, discard blank, unique red character only, not surprising there. But it's got a really cool on-play ability. So you play it, and you may deal damage to one of your characters to resolve one of its character or upgrade dice, increasing its value by 1. So, I mean, man, you could play this. I don't know, maybe, it's kind of, the sequencing might be kind of off a little bit, but in a interesting scenario, maybe you activate a character and then you play this after the fact. If you roll out of money, take a damage, and then you basically the upgrade just paid for itself. So pretty cool support related upgrade there. Some discard sides. I don't know, what do you guys think? Some focus sides.
I could definitely mills.
Yeah.
In a mill deck, it's definitely, I think, dangerous because a lot of characters that you play in mill decks have 2 discard sides, right? And you're really not. I mean, you want to protect those characters in a mill deck if you're playing 1, but you're fine giving a character a damage to have somebody mill 3 or discard 3 from your hand, getting rid of those cards that they can't do anything with. Or, I don't know, hitting Jabba for 1 to resolve a 2 as 3 money or something, right? A character that has 2 money. Veers has? No, Veers is a single money. Anyway, I mean, just taking that extra money. Yeah, it's 2 cost, so you're only netting 1 resource, but it reminds me of the old Snoke power action.
Yeah.
Now, it's not increased by 2, but the Snoke power action was so good that they changed it to damage only. Like, it was ridiculous. So I think in the right deck, this card can be very good. And if you can get it to happen multiple times, right? You are in command now. Play it from your discard pile. It's not unique. So you can play multiple copies of it. You can overwrite it and then play You Are in Command to do it again. So it's like it could be some sneaky damage late in the game that maybe you're not really thinking about.
It's kind of like a villain veteran of war, really, isn't it? A 2-cost red upgrade. that will boost other dice. We all saw Veteran of War was an absolute killer with that card, and we'll continue, I think, in other decks. It's just a tech card. You can increase anything. It's not damage only. So you're looking at resources or, mill or focus. Imagine turning a 2 focus to a 3 focus. That's just going to, be overwhelming for your opponent. It's a great upgrade. Love it.
It is character dice only, though, so you got to remember that, because you got to do a damage to a character to do it to one of those characters' dice. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to hit a character, but character or upgrade dice. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, let's move on to our final spoiler. So, Paulie, I'm going to flip it over to you. And let's see.
Our final spoiler, the man of the hour, Moff Gideon, 12 health, ruthless mastermind, character leader. He's got a 2 focus, 1 disrupt, 2 discard, cruel tactician, 1 money, one money, and a blank. He has Detect 2, the first villain that I can think of with Detect 2. And it so plays into his on activation ability. On activation, after you activate this character, you may play an opponent's detected weapon or vehicle for free. Then deal indirect damage to yourself equal to half its cost rounded up. After the action phase ends, if the card is still in play, return it to its owner's hand. Oh, so good. 12 health too, like so good. Now he is 13-16 for cost, so I think he's costed fairly well, fairly aggressively for 12 health. No damage on him, but I mean, I'm slotting him into mill decks. I'm slotting him into support decks. Like, so good.
I'm sure immediately the 2 focus jumps out there.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 focus can work with with mill or support. It's just gonna control your whole board state. Love it. Majo, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I'm sure a lot of people would look at that 2 discard side and maybe gravitate towards mill, and I'm sure I would love to try that at some point. But man, I love to play Moff with Wat Tambor. I think that would come out to be like 29 points maybe. Because it'd be hard to target Wat Tambor knowing that you're leaving Gideon on the table. So if they target Moff first, you're getting all those extra resolutions on Wat Tambor's power action with your red supports. I mean, it just seems like a fun 2-wide support deck with a little extra health. And I know, Paul, you had an interesting one you played recently.
So Detect 2 really stands out to me because there's a lot of heroes that have Detect 2. Let's look at Obi Reiko. Right, he's got Detect 2. There's Cassian and Gideon that have all of these detect mechanics and these spy mechanics. Now he's not a spy; he's a leader. But pair him with someone like Bing, who you roll out Moff, Detect 2, you roll out Bing, Detect 1, take another action instantly. Even if they use one of those cards, you still have 2 or more detected. So you're still taking another action. You're still increasing indirect die sides. Like it's just. It's quick, fast action cheating to do a bunch of damage, and then you still have stuff available to do. I think it's really good.
And pairing him with another character with detect, obviously you're detecting 3. That's really increasing your chances of picking up that weapon or vehicle to play for free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was looking at elite, 14 cost characters to go with him. You've got Sibo. Who's another red villain with 2 focus sides.
Yeah.
So in total, if you play them both elite, you've got 4 2 focus sides. Sibo also has 2 disrupt, 2 discard sides. So you could potentially roll, out of those 4 dice, if one of them rolls a 2 discard, you could use hopefully one of the other focus and get 4 discard, immediately, which is just wrecking your opponent's turn. Sibo's great. Obviously, you've got Garindan, who's also a 2 discard side.
And with Garindan, you can roll him out first, detect 1, roll out Moff, detect 2, have your choice of 3 cards, and if you end up taking one, then you also get to draw a card with Garindan because it leaves your opponent's hand.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, if you end up playing one, that's interesting. I like that. Yeah.
Lots of great things, and also I think when you're playing your opponent's weapon or vehicle, my immediate thought also went to abandoned refinery. Let's trash that. So you're kind of discarding it from your opponent. It doesn't go back to their hand, and you're gaining a benefit from it. I wanted to play it with 2 Java scavengers so that you could just keep selling their stuff for a resource. Sadly, that's rotated out of play. But yeah, I mean, any interaction that can allow you to take your opponent's cards and then put it in the discard pile.
Overwrite weapons. Take a lightsaber, then overwrite it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this concept of, and I think we're seeing it more. You know, paying life to put things into play. You know, decks maybe have some shields. I mean, I don't know how often villains are having shields, especially red villains. But still, I mean, you pay some life. You don't have to spend the money. You get it, and then you find a way to recycle it. Yeah, this could be huge.
I mean, you could play 2 ISB agents with Moff Gideon. You know, so that's quite a lot more like life to best defense, or to put that indirect damage on, or any of these sort of interactions that we've spoken about. You know, they've got discard sides as well. All the focus is just going to take away your opponent's card. Get used to not playing your cards very much if people are on the table with Gideon.
Yeah. A lot more hand hate, a lot more you don't get to play.
Yeah, for sure. So I thought of one pairing that you guys haven't mentioned. It would be Elite Moff, Elite Ninth Sister. So she was recently reduced to 14 points. She's really good if you play her with the 10th brother. But that would be an even 30, Ninth Sister and Moff. So I mean, Moff's discarding your hand potentially. Maybe with Red Villain, you got some hand hate, right? Probes and counter intel, face it. Yep. So and the Ninth Sister special does 3 damage to a character unless they discard 2 cards, right? So if you hit their hand and they don't have cards to ditch to mitigate that 3 damage, then that's just an interesting sort of synergy there between weakening their hand and converting that into damage. So I don't know, could be pretty neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, I think that was a pretty good run there. I mean, we're super grateful to the ARH guys for hooking us up with some spoilers. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Any parting thoughts, guys, before we close them out?
I'm looking forward to this next set. Some mechanics returning, some new mechanics coming in, and just kind of seeing how it all interacts with each other. I'm looking forward to deck building again.
Yeah. It's technical challenges that you're looking at, that you can utilize some of these cards or characters in different ways. That's what I quite like. Some people will build it this way, some people will build it that way. I think that's what Moff Gideon is. Flexibility. That's what we want from our characters. Flexibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, guys. All right, well, we'll go ahead and close out on that note. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, and come join us on the Censor. So take care. We'll catch you next time.